When she turned her back to me that night, I knew something had died. Not with a bang, not with a fight, but with the quiet sigh of indifference. It was the fourth night in a row that she'd done it. No kiss, no good night, not even a lazy brush of her hand across mine. Just silence. I stared at the ceiling, counting the seconds between her breaths. I used to love those small sounds, the rhythm of her sleep, the way her hand would rest on my chest unconsciously. Now she slept facing the wall, clutching her pillow as if it were her lifeline. I whispered, "Good night, Emma." She didn't answer. She hadn't in months. I used to think marriages ended with shouting, but ours was dying in quiet conversations, half-hearted smiles, and the unspoken understanding that something sacred had vanished. It started subtly. The late replies to my texts. The way she'd dress up beautifully for work dinners but come home to me in old sweatpants. The phone she always kept face down. First, I made excuses for her. She's stressed. Work's been hard. Maybe I'm imagining things. But the distance grew like mold, slow, silent, consuming. One night I asked, "Do you still find me attractive?" She looked at me, startled, then smiled in that polite, detached way people do when they're asked something awkward. "Of course I do," she said. "Why would you even ask that?" But her tone was too even, too rehearsed. That night, she stayed late at the office again. The truth came out not through a confession, but through exhaustion. Mine. It was a Sunday morning. I was making pancakes, the kind she used to love. She walked into the kitchen, hair tied, phone in her hand, scrolling through something with a faint smile. I watched her from the stove, trying to remember the last time that smile was meant for me. I asked casually, "Who's making you smile this early?" She looked up startled, then laughed too quickly. "Just a friend from work." But the word friend landed like a stone in my chest. I didn't ask more. Not then. I was too afraid of the answer. Over the next few weeks, I became someone I never thought I'd be. The kind of man who checks his wife's phone, who memorizes her passcode, who looks for clues in text notifications. And I found them. Messages from someone named Ryan. First, they were innocent. Work jokes, memes, random banter. Then they grew warmer. Personal. "Wish you were here instead of them. I miss talking to you. Last night was amazing." That last one broke me. I remember sitting on the bathroom floor, her phone still in my shaking hands. The tiles were cold beneath me, but my face burned. I read the messages over and over until the words blurred into white noise. It wasn't just cheating. It was emotional betrayal. She had given someone else what she used to give me. Her laughter, her softness, her attention. And I realized I'd been fighting alone for months to keep something she'd already left behind. I didn't confront her right away. I wanted to. God, I wanted to scream, to demand answers, to make her feel the same helpless pain clawing inside me. But instead I decided to watch. To see if she'd even notice the slow death she'd caused. I stopped trying. No more late-night talks. No more weekend plans. No more reaching for her hand. I became distant, polite, cold, invisible. She noticed eventually. One night she asked, "Are we okay?" I looked at her, the woman I'd loved for 11 years, and said softly, "We were." She frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" I just smiled. "You'll figure it out." A week later she tried. She made dinner, lit candles, wore perfume. She talked about planning a trip together. I wanted to laugh at the irony. How people only fight for what they've already lost once it's gone. So I played along quietly. I ate, I smiled, I said all the right words. But inside I'd already made my decision. That night, after she fell asleep beside me for the first time in months, I opened my laptop and wrote a single sentence in a blank document. "You can't save someone who's already left you in their heart." Felt like a confession. Or maybe a goodbye. A few days later I told her I wanted to talk. She sat across from me at the kitchen table, the same table where we'd laughed, cried, planned our lives. She looked nervous, as if she could sense the ground shifting beneath her. I took a deep breath and said it plainly. "I know about Ryan." Her eyes widened. Color drained from her face. It's not what you think," she stammered. I shook my head. "Don't. Please. Don't insult me with that." She fell silent, her hands trembling. I continued, voice steady. "I spent months trying to fix this, to make you see me again. But you weren't here. You've been somewhere else with someone else. And I'm done chasing what's gone. Tears welled up in her eyes. I didn't mean to. I know, I said softly. But you did. Then I leaned back, exhaled, and said the words that had been sitting in my chest for weeks. From now on, you're single. For a moment she didn't react. Then the realization hit her, not just of what she'd lost, but how quietly I'd decided to let her go. She broke down, whispering apologies that felt too late, too hollow. I just stood up, pushed my chair back and said, "You taught me something, Emma. Love doesn't die from hate. It dies from neglect." Then I walked out. It's been 6 months since that night. I live in a smaller apartment now. No shared toothbrush, no cold side of the bed, no late-night arguments about nothing. Sometimes I still wake up expecting her to be there. Old habits die hard. But then I remember the silence, the kind that used to feel like punishment, and I smile because now it feels like peace. She's tried to reach out a few times. Texts, emails, even a handwritten letter. I never replied. Because I've realized something. I wasn't trying to win her back. I was trying to win back the version of myself who believed love could fix anything. And now for the first time in years I don't feel unwanted. I just feel free.